Today's lesson we'll be going over pointers. Now, a pointer is just a variable in C++ that stores the memory address of another variable. So instead of directly holding a value like most of the variables that we've used so far, a pointer variable holds the memory address where another variable is stored. This allows you to indirectly access and manipulate the data stored at that memory location. Why do we learn pointers? Well, pointers are useful in situations where you need to work with dynamic memory allocation, when you need to pass variables by reference, or you need to make some data structures like linked lists, trees, and graphs, which we will go over much later in the semester. Okay, so what I have here is a program that uses pointers only for demonstrative purposes. It's not super functional. This is how it works. So first we have int num equals 42. So we just have a regular integer variable that stores the value of 42. And then we create another variable, a pointer variable. Well, how do I know it's a pointer variable? Well, it has the asterisk after the type. Some people you can also do this. That's okay too. You can put it in front of the variable name, but I like to put it after the type. And it's totally up to you. Next, I want to assign a value to this pointer. I want to assign a memory location. And to retrieve a memory location, I use this ampersand, which is called the address of operator. So this is going to be the address of num, wherever that memory location is, and it's going to be stored inside of our pointer variable. Okay, so I'm going to run the program so we can see the outcomes and so that we can understand better what's happening. So I just hit the run button. Okay. Oh, and before I continue, I wanted to mention I'm not using the std namespace in this example. So you see that I have std : cout, std : endl. This is another way that you can write outputs if you're not using the std namespace. And sometimes you'll see it like this. And yeah, I just want you to be aware of that. So I'm going to go ahead and run the program. And we have, okay, so the value of the number is displayed here at the top. It's just 42. We know that because we see it here. And then we wanted to print the address of num. And that's going to be this hex location here, the address of the number. So that's what that ampersand does. It's the address of operator. Next, we wanted to display the value of the pointer. Now remember, the pointer's value is a memory location, num's memory location. And so that's why you see the value of pointer is this hex, the same hex number as the address, because that's what we're storing inside of this pointer variable. And then finally, the value pointed to by the pointer. So this is called a dereference operator when it's used this way. And this is so that you can get what the value is pointing to. So you put the dereference operator in front of the variable name, and that shows you, or that'll be interpreted as the value pointed to by the pointer. So you can copy this down, you can try it for yourself, but I'm going to go ahead and we're going to create another example really quick, and then we'll end the video. So just a little bit more. Okay, so I went ahead and I created our typical boilerplate, and this program is going to use pointers, again, not super functional, just for demonstration purposes. The first thing we want to do is declare a string variable. So I've included the string library. We want to create a string variable, and we're going to call that book title. So, oops, book title. And we're going to set that equal to an empty string. And we cannot forget to put the semicolon after it. Next, we're going to create an integer variable, and this one's going to be called year published. And then we're going to make a couple of pointer variables. So again, I'm going to put the type of pointer that I want, and I'm going to put the asterisk after the type. That's just how I like to do it. And then I type book title and then PTR. Now, if I don't put PTR, it might be harder for me to remember that this is a pointer. So PTR is just shorthand for pointer, and it doesn't add anything to this. It's so I remember that this is a pointer. And it'd be cool if you use that too, especially while you're just learning. All right. And I'm going to create an integer pointer. And this is going to be called the year published pointer. Now you're going to notice that I have my pointer variable is of the same type as what we're going to, as the address that we're going to store inside of it. Now you have to make sure that these match up to int for the same reason that you always do. You need to, so this sets aside a certain amount of space, a certain number of bytes, and so we need to remain consistent with that. Okay. Next, we're going to assign values to our pointers. So book title PTR equals, and then again, we're going to use that ampersand, and that ampersand is the address of operator. And we're going to say book title. So we're going to store the address of the book title. We're going to store the address of the book title. Next, we're going to create a year we're going to assign the value of year published to the address of year published. Year published pointer to year published. So this is what's missing, and that's why I said it weird. Okay, year published. And this is going to do the same thing as the line before it. So we're going to store an address, a memory location inside of this pointer. So next we want to create an output. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that next. Now first I'm just going to output what the values are regularly. So this, oops, that was pretty cool, but that's not what I wanted to do. So I'll just press Control Z until it goes away. Okay. So I'm going to have a version 1. I should put this all in caps. All right. And this is going to get the user information. And we're going to see out, type in the name of a book. And because the name of the book can be multiple words, we're going to use getLine in conjunction with cin. So we're going to use getLine this time. Why? Because we want to get more than just one word. We want to get the whole line. So that could span multiple words. And then we're going to enter our parameters, cin, and the book title. Not too bad. Just keep this in mind. Just remember what getLine does. All right, and then we're going to see out, type the published year. And we can just see in year published easily because the year published is not going to be multiple words or multiple numbers with spaces between. It's just going to be one number. So we can use cin for that. All right. And then we're going to create our output. So this is all pretty standard for you guys. So output, see out, the book title is, and then we're going to output the book title. And then we're going to output the year published is, and then we'll put year published. All right, and this looks done. So I'm going to go ahead and run the program, and we should see some expected behaviors. This isn't a really crazy code. So I'm going to go ahead and type in Pride and Prejudice. And I don't know when that book was published, but I think it was published a long time ago. So I'll just put sometime in the 1900s, and I'll press enter. So the book title is Pride and Prejudice, and the year published is 1900, which is not true. I can look it up, but it's not super important to what we're doing. So I'll close this. So that was the expected behavior that we wanted to see. Now we're going to put version 2, and we're going to use pointers in our output. I'm going to comment this out. So to comment this out, you press this button all the way in the top. It should say comment out the selected lines when you hover over it. I press enter. And if I wanted to undo this comment, I will simply press the button next to it. And let me go ahead and comment all of this. So this is going to be version 2, and version 2 is with pointers. And I want to have a caps lock. It just looks more serious that way. And also it separates, the caps lock separates kind of the one part of the code from the next part of the code. Some people, they do little dividers like this. And then they type whatever they're going to type on the second line. So again, it's these kinds of things are your own preference. Whatever is most readable to you and makes the most sense to you. It's just really good to establish good habits right now that you're learning. All right, so let's go ahead and check out version 2. So we have our, we're still going to have our pointer variables. We already declared them, and we already assigned values to them. So now we're going to use them. So see out, or how about we start with something familiar. Get the user information. See out the type, the book title, and then we're just going to do CN for now. And we're going to say book title PTR. And I use the dereference operator. I use the asterisk in front of the name of the variable. I want to get the value that it's pointing to. So this is going to give me the value that's pointed to, whatever's stored in that address. And next, I'm going to see out type the year published. And I'm going to see in a year published pointer. All right, and then I'm going to output. So I'm going to see out book title address. And then I'm going to use the book title pointer. And I'm going to see out the year published. I almost forgot to use the dereference operator here. And we're not doing addresses yet. Okay. All right. So sorry for the confusion, but this is what I'm going to do. I want the value that's stored at that location. I don't want to print out the address right now, just the value that's stored at that location. So I'm using the dereference operator in front of it. And likewise, we're going to do that here. Year published pointer. Okay. And just to cover the let's, how do I say it? To make sure that we understand everything and as a learning tool, let's also see out the address. So book title address. How do we get this? Well, that's the value stored inside of book title pointer. So that should give me the address of book title. And we're going to year published address. And this is going to, oh, I don't like that there's not a space there. Spaces. Year published pointer. Now, you're going to notice that I'm not using the dereference operator in front of these. And that's because I don't want the value that it's pointing to. I want the value that's stored there. So now I'm going to go ahead and run this code. And then we'll go through it. We'll go through the output, compare it to the code. So what's a good title of a book? Let's just say the book is called Harry or something like that. And then the year published is like 1990. Okay, so the book title name is Harry, and that's right here. Type the book title, there it is, book title pointer. So this gives me the value that's being pointed to. And in this case, it's pointing to the memory location Harry, the value that's stored in the memory location Harry. And we also did the same thing when we used the dereference operator up here, year published pointer, and that gave us 1990. So what are we printing out? We're printing out where we're pointing to. So the value that's stored where we're pointing to, that's what we're doing here with this syntax. Next, we wanted to display what the addresses are. And so we know from up here that we stored the address of book title and the address of year published into our pointer variables. So that's what is immediately stored in there. And so if I don't use the dereference operator, then I get my addresses printed out. So then that's going to be different every time, the hex location. I think that's good for now. I hope that this demystified pointers for you. But if not, feel free to reach out and I will make another video about this anyway. So hopefully I'll answer some lingering questions that you might have about pointers. All right. Thank you so much for listening and have a wonderful day.